You guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name's Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And y'all know I'm here to put you on, and we are back to talk about a brand new 7-part limited series that was just released on Apple TV. The first 2 episodes dropped, and after that, they will air weekly. And you know what it is. We sat down, we watched it, and said, this is definitely worth talking about. And so y'all know what that means. I'm not here alone talking about disclaimer, but feel free to go and check out my review after you watch this live tonight. Let's see who we're bringing to the stage first. Let's start with someone new. Quana, how are you today? And welcome to the channel. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. You had a good Monday? Ready to dive into this show?
I'm ready. This has been the thing I've been looking forward to the most because this was spicy, spicy.
Oh, we'll have to get into some spicy stuff after the show. I need to know everything that you're watching. But again, we have a couple more people in the back. Tyra over there at The Struggle is Spectacular. How are you doing this
You gonna
fine Monday evening?
You gonna stop putting that spectacular on stuff, throwing me off, ma'am. I'm wonderful. I'm glad that you mentioned this show. As Quana stated backstage, they do a horrible job promoting these things. And if you hadn't mentioned disclaimer, honey, I would not have known anything about it. But it was great. I'm here for Kevin.
Yes, all here for Kevin Kline, baby. Since Soap Dish, I've been here for Kevin Kline, a fish called Wanda. Okay. Kay, welcome. Happy Monday. How are you doing today, friend?
I'm good. I feel like I've been real productive today.
Okay.
I feel productive.
She said, I feel like I'm in my element. I feel productive. We love a productive queen. Okay. We love it here. And we're not alone. Okay, people. Welcome to the building. Hey, Tremaine. Hey, sis. How are you doing, Latoya? Hey, Anakin, not Vader. What's up, Brees? Anakin, not Vader. Hey, Greta. Welcome. You guys, be sure to let us know in the chat, what did you think of this episode? Out of 5, what are you rating it after watching these first 2 episodes? Hey, Kibi. I'm interested in actually seeing what transpired between the 2 of them, and it involved her son being saved. We're going to get all into the nitty gritty of that because we don't know much, but we know a few things. Okay, we know a few things. Hey, Vic, welcome. She says, welcome, Quana.
Thank you, Vic.
Monique 69 Ways. Hey. I got no notification, baby. They listen.
You know why. You know how it goes.
Par for the course. Jasmine, welcome. Glad y'all like that little YouTube intro. Let me link the
I was dancing. I did a little shimmy. I did. In the back, I did.
You know, it's hard. It's hard going through that beta music on YouTube and finding something that'll work.
Ashley, because it's not gonna be me.
Listen, hey, Darfalina. No, we know Tyra ain't going for it. Hey, Darfalina, welcome. Okay, guys, let's jump right on into this. And I couldn't do my slides how I wanted to today because StreamYard is acting up for me, but we can go back to the old school way of doing things. I need to know from you. It wouldn't be an Ashley Live if we didn't start here first. So, Quana, I'm going to start with you. I want to know, after watching episodes 1 and 2, what were your overall thoughts? What did you leave feeling? Give it to us. Let us know.
I left feeling like everybody is trash. Everybody. Okay. I was pissed at the son. I was pissed at the husband. I was pissed at the mama. I was pissed at everybody. I was like, everybody can get some smoke, okay? But that said, Kate is still that girl. So, I'm intrigued because, Kate, she does bring it. She brings it every time. So but I was also shocked because I did not know that was Kevin Kline. And in your head, when you're so used to watching people on older things, you forget that people age. I was like, oh, Lord, help us.
She said, that's a time warp. Let's do the time warp again.
I was not prepared. I was like, I just saw Wild Wild West the other day.
Right.
Tyra, overall thoughts after watching these first 2 episodes of Disclaimer.
You gonna catch me with a revenge plot every time. I'm here for the revenge. I don't even know exactly what this lady did, but she needs to pay.
Listen, immediately.
Something in my spirit tells me she needs to pay for what she did. Like, I just love the just position of the lifestyle. It's like, girl, I've been here living in degradation and squalor. I'm lonely. My life is pretty much done. The way this man has nothing to lose and everything to gain, and she is just lifted up on this high horse. She didn't expect this at all. I'm here for the revenge. I'm here for the acting. I'm here for the acting. I am here for the OGs. And no spice to the young. Everybody needs shit. Everybody has to start somewhere. But you can tell when people are seasoned. Like Kevin, Kate, Sasha, because you had to tell me that there was Sasha in the back playing her husband. I said, where did you see Sasha Baron Cohen? I ain't see him nowhere. And it's
Robert.
It's the husband. I was like, let me go back. I gotta go look up this man's credentials because it ain't no way in hell that was Ali G. That was not Borat. It was, y'all. That was Sasha playing the husband. Amazing. It just feels like there's going to be a whole lot unfolding. It's a mystery, a revenge plot driven type of narrative, and I'm here for it. And it's Kate and Kevin. We can't lose with that. I'm watching every single episode.
Baby, that's what we're not going to do. We're not going to move off of it because they're going to keep feet on necks. And I love that for them. Kate and Kevin are absolutely delivering. Kate, whether you hate her or love her, most times you're going to hate her, but she's going to deliver. She's going to come through with a performance. She's going to look fun. You know the looks that she gives. She's going to emote. She's going to give you all of the things. She's going to pull that Karen out of her bag, which she tried to do in episode 2. I really, really enjoyed this. It feels like a masterclass and it felt effortless when you have people who are seasoned and who are all Academy Award winners, because we'll get into the credentials here in a moment. There's an ease with which they do their thing. We've been on the struggle bus these past couple months with these shows and movies that we've seen. And so it was refreshing for me. Kay, overall thoughts after watching these first 2 episodes?
Apple TV ain't failed me yet, so I was here. I knew once my attention could focus in on it, I knew it was going to be something there. Just take me a minute to hop into things, but Apple TV has not failed me yet. And then once I figured out this was a book, y'all know who I am. Look, if they don't get to the truth, they got about till episode 4 for me to figure this out, and if not, y'all know I'm going to the book.
Hey, leave the book alone.
Leave something to the imagination, Kate. Come on.
I ain't got time for this.
A little bit of suspense. Come on.
Y'all know if they start taking, y'all see how I did on Lady in the Lake. When they took too long, I said I'm gonna go right over here to the book.
Lord have mercy. Every single time. That's what she's gonna do, you guys. Okay, so let's get into the synopsis of this show. Based on the novel by Renee Knight, we follow Katherine Ravenscroft, a successful and respected television documentary journalist. Her world unravels when she discovers a mysterious novel that reveals her darkest secret, a secret she thought only one other person knew. Director and writer Alfonso Cuarón, Academy Award-winning, director known for Gravity, Roma, and Children of Men. The only one of the 3 films that I knew of was Children of Men, but seemingly an amazing storyteller. Starting right there, Tyra, I want to start with you. As far as a premise and a synopsis, what do you think of it? Do you think it's got legs? Do you think it can take us somewhere?
Girl, this has legs, feet, hands, toes, arms, eyes. This has everything. Like, I don't want to go for the okie doke because it's like, I want to know why it took this long, or why didn't we pounce on getting this lady, her just desserts a long time ago? Why did it take for her, to pass on? Why did we push through with it? But the fact that statement is like, none of this is a coincidence. If you thought it was about you, it was. It was. I love that statement. I just love like the calculation. This is going to be like a slow burn. And like I said, when I mentioned it to you, the only thing she could ever offer this man is something financial. How much do I have to pay you for this to go away? Like, that's not going to suffice for him. He wants revenge. He wants her to suffer slowly. This absolutely has legs and everything else for this to be a sufficient story.
Oh yeah, baby. He's gonna get it back in blood. We'll talk about we'll talk about him. We'll get into his character completely. But Kay, does the story have legs? And what did you think when you read that disclaimer? Any resemblance to persons living or dead is not a coincidence. Let's be very clear. I want him to know it's you, ma'am.
They said they want the smoke, all of it. And they're ready for it. Like they did is like I'm not trying to protect nobody. This is real. Like if you feel like it's you, then a hit dog will holler. I'm over here. Come see me.
Well. And Quana, last but not least, does this story have legs? Do you think we're going somewhere, or will it fall flat? What are your thoughts?
I think it has legs. I think it's going somewhere. I think we're going to see the downfall of everybody. And I don't want to get too far, but as soon as I saw her last name, I said, "Oh, everybody's going down." Because anytime you put a Raven in anything, everybody's got to go.
Listen, the only good Ravens people I knew were Harry Potter, and those were Raven's claws, right? That's the
over here, yes. Everywhere else, no. I think it's going to be messy. I hope everything leaks. I want it to be salacious. And I think Alfonso can do it. That's my dude. I love him. He makes beautiful movies, beautiful shows. I'm here for it.
She said, "I'm here for all of this foolishness." Okay, let's get into it, guys. And please bear with me because my slides are acting crazy. So again, we're meeting Katherine Ravenscroft initially, right? And I kind of wanted just to focus on her and Steven's character because I think they're the most impactful in these first couple of episodes. Of course, we know this is played by Cate Blanchett, two-time Academy Award winner. She's a wife, mother, a journalist in this, right? Living the life the best way she can, the best way that she knows how. But she's also a Decepticon, right? She's a liar. She's a manipulator. Terrible overall. I hate the tears. I hate when that's our number one tool of reprisal when we get into sticky situations, and she epitomizes that. Oh, it's getting icky. Let me just cry. Because my tears are going to save me. However, I do think her character has depth. I am interested to know how diabolical she is. I can see from now she's done whatever it takes to get the story right. She gives you that what's the heifer's name from Lady in the Lake?
Maddie.
That Maddie energy. She's gonna give it to you. You know what I mean? Oh, it's all about me. When she sat here chewing her hair, reading the book, I was repulsed. Okay. Why is your hair in your mouth, ma'am? But again, I do feel like she was in a different place all those 20 years ago. Maybe it's one of those things, I clawed my way to the top and then I got some integrity. Kay, talk to me about Katherine. What do you think of her character and how she presents at this point?
This is a person who I feel like has used white woman tears to get her out of some trouble, and at this point I don't think they're gonna work anymore. I think she done cried the last one that's gonna work, and it's not gonna work. It took in her real far. Okay, she got real far with them white woman tears, but it stops here. Like it's dry. Nobody's falling for it anymore. She is going to have to face what she has done at this point. But she done finessed her way to where she is.
Okay. Quana, what do you think of Katherine? What do you think of her as a character in what we've seen just in these first two episodes?
She has a lot of survival instinct, and so I think she's not done. I think whatever she did, maybe she did get away from that for a while, but I think whatever that thing is in her, that lion that's in her, I think we're going to see it come out. I think she's going to go on the attack because I don't think she's willing to let her reputation be tarnished. She cares more about that than anything. So I think she's about to really go on the attack.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I bled for this. I sweated for this. I probably slept with a couple people for this. You're not just going to walk in and take this away. And of course, we got to slide for that. Tyra, what do you think of Catherine? Do you love Catherine's character?
No. Oh, like I said, I'm here for Kevin, okay? Um, as was stated, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if you think this lady's gonna take this lying down, she was caught off guard. She didn't expect this, rolling up 20 something odd years later. She thought this was over, something she wouldn't have to deal with. And she was just kind of bombarded with it. Once she figures out an angle, she's gonna work it. She is not just gonna allow this to happen. So I'm interested to see, because from the outside looking in, Kevin's character doesn't seem to have, much of anything, or like nothing to lose, but maybe there is something or a button that she can push, because she's going to need to do something, because he's not stopping. Kind of, it's something wayward and predatory about her for me. In the sense of her, linking up with the young man, from what we could imagine, whatever took place, and her husband being, younger than her, and he wasn't, as experienced. It's just something. It's like she has an angle, and it goes into that manipulation. But I want to know how far it goes and why. But that, and in these streets, we can't have a great mother to save our life. She got to be the
She got to be trash. She got to be
trash. You have to. That's like on print now. You have to be a trash. She's a trash mother. Like, she's from what we learned, later on, I'm sure you have slides just about their marriage. Like, something's up with her, and I just want to know how we got there and what she's willing to do to keep it, because I think this is a sick woman.
Oh yeah, there was a predatory element in my mind, because I'm like, how old is Jonathan? Now I know he's in Europe living his best life with his little pink-haired girlfriend, but she looked a good 16. So what were you doing with this young boy on the beach, ma'am? I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Control. She wants to control. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Now we have my homie, because here's the thing about it. I am here for a person who has the courage of their convictions, right? We meet Stephen Brigstock, and immediately I am entranced. I am in his world when he's sitting there looking at them bad A kids, and he gets called into the principal's office with a parent because he didn't cuss one of them out. He didn't even cuss him out. He just told him what it was. And he says, just apologize. I will not apologize, and today's my last day. I'm done. I've been teaching for 30 some years. I hate these F them kids, and F y'all too. I'm gonna go back home. I like the space that he's in, because you can tell that prior to all of this loss, prior to the loss of his son, prior to being widowed, he was a different person. And I like how we're getting to see exactly how grief can change one's nature or character, because when I tell you, he is lock, stock, and barrel invested in her demise by any means necessary. I love that for him, because I think it's giving him something at this moment to live for. But Stephen Brigstock is played by the Kevin Kline, Academy Award winner. And like I said, my first initiation to Kevin Kline was Soap Dish. And if you haven't watched it, with Sally Field and Robert Downey Jr. and Whoopi Goldberg, go do yourself a favor. It's absolutely hilarious. But in this role, he's a grieving father and widow out for revenge, and he's got absolutely nothing to lose. He ain't got no job. He don't have no son. He don't have no wife. I mean, it's up and it's stuck. All he's got is him, his wife's sweater, and those roaches. Quana, talk to me about Stephen.
Not she said it's up and it's stuck. Okay, Cardi B. First and foremost, as a teacher myself, I really want to know what he wrote on that paper, because I could only imagine. I was grading papers. I was like, I know what he wrote. I feel it. I understand you, Stephen. I'm there. No, Stephen, I will say, with his character, I love the attention we're getting with it, the details with the sweater and everything. It's so, like Tyra said, I mean, obviously he is the person who I think we all probably have the most sympathy for as of right now, because we don't know any skeletons just yet. But when he said, I don't even care about selling them books, I said, oh. He wants to see her ruined. Okay. He wants the Daily Mail edition. And I love that, because that does, when you have that fearlessness, that character has nothing to lose. It can go anywhere. They're not held back by anything. So I'm excited to see how far he is willing to take it. But I'm a little nervous because they showed us that intro, and I don't know if that is just to show us that he's lost everything, or if we're going to come back to that, and if there's going to be skeletons, because I always get a little nervous when they depict teachers on television, because usually you know what they do. So I get a little nervous sometimes. So I'm like, I don't know. That's just my brain thinking.
We listen, we're gonna see, because I have questions. I think that she's a liar and the truth ain't in her, and she's making something up on this man, is what I think. But what I will say, I thought it was interesting that when we see Jonathan in Italy writing back home, it's strictly to the mother and not the father. So I do wonder if there were some issues in the family dynamic. But I will say, with him moving with this reckless abandon, it would seem as though he doesn't have maybe the skeletons we think, or maybe the ones that she's pushing out. But we'll see. It's still early in the game. I'm here for all the smoke. Tyra, talk to me about Steven. We know he's your fave. Do you think he could have been predatory too? Do you think he's got skeletons?
I mean, if he didn't, she gonna make some. If he did, at this point, it's like I don't even care. I'm an older man. My wife's dead. My son's dead. Like, who? Whatever. I want you to suffer in the way that I feel like I have. I would be surprised if he did, though. I'm more interested in their family dynamic, because I put on my, like, whose narrative should we be trusting? I'm always gonna throw Kate outside, because that's where she belongs. She for the streets in every single row, trash. But with this right here, and us learning more about them, because we learned just a little bit, but the way that the wife was moving, and she made it a point to keep him out of it. Like, don't even, like, if we're grieving, or it's one thing to have you like, no, don't even enter the room anymore. I'm gonna write it in secret. If you happen to find it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But it wasn't something she felt the need to include him in, and even went as far to say that he was dead. I was like, okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong, in both of these households, and I'll be happy to find out what it is. But he is a man on a mission. Like, this is his new purpose. I don't want no job. F the kids, as you said. Yeah, I said it. I wrote the grade. I wrote yeah. I wrote it, and I ain't taking it back. This is my mission now. This is his purpose, and he's moving with it. Like, he's so giggity. I just love. It's just like, girl, he's showing up with bells on and everything. Like, he's so happy at the thought of her suffering, and slowly. You see how calculated he is. Like, I'm here for that. So for him to go so hard, I feel like that it has to be something that, because they're saying, like, we knew you were there, or whatever may have happened. We may have known that, you lied a little bit, but at some part we figured out that you played a bigger role in my son's life, or whatever, his demise, than you're stating. That's what I'm trying to get to. But he gonna make sure we have fun on the way there.
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna give us a ride and a treat, honey, because them little Cheshire cat grins after he accomplishes each of his little side quests tickled me. Kay, what do we think of Steven?
Now, how do roaches get in it?
Feeling trapped. We gotta get him. We gotta get him.
We can't freeze.
Oh, okay. Can y'all hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. I'm a huge Batman fan. Okay. So anybody that's out here for vengeance, I'm on their team immediately. My man said I am vengeance at this point. I just want to point out real quick that whoever wrote this book, they knew what they was doing with these names. Like Brigstock. And what's the other? Ravencroft. Okay,
Ravenscroft.
They were trying to sound real fancy with these names. They said I want to give these people sophisticated names and sophisticated jobs, then let them do ratchet things. Because so far, all these people messy. And I am absolutely here for it. I'm here for Steve. Steven is moving real calculated. Steven said, I ain't got no wife. I ain't got no job. It's Friday.
It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no, yeah.
He ain't got nothing but space and opportunity. So I'm curious to see what he's going to do with all his space and opportunity.
I am too, girl. I am. And I just wanted to take a quick moment because this is a star-studded, not only creative team, directors, writers, but also actors. Of course, we talked about Kate and Kevin already, but again, Sacha Baron Cohen, Cody Smith McPhee. Nicholas looked familiar to me. I just don't know what I've seen him in. I didn't go to his IMDb. But Leslie Manville, Nurse Red, this raggedy heifer that I've seen several times, okay? She's always diabolical, but she herself is an Academy Award winner. I know I've seen Layla George around here. Louis Partridge, I don't know him. I don't know him yet, but Indira Varma, I know her from Game of Thrones, and she's actually narrating a portion of the show. We'll get her a little bit later. But were you any of you guys excited or I guess surprised to see any of these actors on the roster?
I already told you I only see Sacha Baron Cohen one way. We're gonna be in a musical. It's always he's like a more so a character actor. I don't take him too serious all the time. So to see him here, especially in that the ending of the second episode, I was like, oh, all right, Sacha, you better tell her to get out your face.
Come on, Sacha. And like I said, seeing Nurse Red, especially after watching Grotesque, I was like, girl, what are you doing here? Man. Quana, did any of this lineup surprise you? Any of the casting surprise you?
No, but since you pulled up Cody, I was like, I have seen that man before too. And now I'm sitting here looking him up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been seeing a lot of this baby. He's been around for a minute. Okay. He still need his behind beat though, because he was kind of, even his mama's dirty, but he was getting out of pocket. I was like, oh, hold up now. Hold up now.
She said, slow down, 10 speed. Kay, did any of these casting choices surprise you?
No, these look like people that be in them Oscar and Emmy nominated movie that I don't watch.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Okay. I love my life. Okay. The episode 1 opens up the happy marriage. Kate looked good. I think Nicole needs to go see Kate's people. Whoever Kate is dealing with this face and this mug, I think Nicole Kidman needs to see her doctor.
Because I throw that lady in there.
Because she's the one that scares me. She's the one that scares me.
Face somewhere.
But do you see how Kate's is sitting properly? Like I'm just saying. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna sit it right there. But I love my life. I'm winning journalistic awards. Damn it, Jodie Foster is going to be in my next. They're picking up my movie. Jodie Foster is going to be in it. I am on top of the world. Kay, what do you think about this placement? I mean, we're opening up and we're like, okay, she seems to have everything at the tips of her fingers. Life is good. Do you like how they're positioning her life before we get into the fallout?
Actually, yes. Is there going to be a slide here? Because I swear I don't see nothing.
You guys don't see a slide?
I don't see a slide. I'm trying to make sure it's not me.
Oh, mercy.
It's not me.
There should be. Oh my.
I see something loading. There it is. Let's see. Here we go.
You see it?
Okay, I love my life.
Okay, Kay. Thank you. Because I sure didn't know. I see it.
Yes, I wanted them to think that they was just, this picturesque family here. I'm glad that they set us up to think that life was good so that the fall can be more meaningful. We needed to see her happy, smiling, looking like I love my man, I love my son. I got a good job. We live in a nice house. Everything good. Everything is good. Because I needed to see the pieces start to chip away.
Okay. I like it. I like it for a dramatic effect. Tyra?
I love it. She's been having her way for quite some time. She's been having her way with
I told you she finessed her way to the top.
This man, and the only thing that she wasn't having her way with, because she doesn't have control over it, is that son. And we about to get he's getting the boot. I'm really about to have my way now and have my husband and my whatever. Like, she has been manipulating this situation in her favor for a very long time. So when it's no longer is, that's hence the white woman tears.
Quana, what did you think of the positioning of this?
I absolutely was fooled. And I think that was intentional for us to be fooled by the veneer of this perfect life. Because even when it first kind of introduced her, I didn't know that she had a son. Mm-hmm. So like when we first saw them in this scene and then they get home, they very much are living a life. It reminded me of Malcolm and Marie, like when Malcolm just came back from the award and they came back and they were drinking. So I was like, oh, they're living the life.
They free,
And
childless.
so then you start seeing everything kind of fall apart. And it's like, wow, it does, I don't want to say make me sympathetic, but because it positioned her life as so perfect, and then we actually get the curtain pulled back and we see that it's not, it makes me wonder what more has she had to do in order to obtain that facade, because things are not perfect.
Oh, baby, she's done some dirt. Listen, whatever this one little summer was, I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I
Well,
think
they
that
said the
she's
sex
done.
was bad, so we know that.
Lord have mercy.
So for a while, we know some things have been happening, probably.
Oh, Lord. Can you guys see this slide?
Yes.
Okay. Italian holiday, baby. And I'm going to be honest, Jonathan's a little bit cringe for me. We're going to just talk about it, okay? Because, sir, why are you on that beach? Like, nah. Okay, her dress is see-through. I don't need you up in that coot nanny with your camera, sir. You got the double lens on there, the extendo clip, and you're watching her every move. Oh, it's your aura. No, you're a creep, sir. So it opens up. We see him and Pinky over here, and they're banging it out in the train car. All right. I said, these people are so young and so immature that he doesn't have the sense to say, okay, Mr. Porter, wait outside. I'll get the tickets. No, he gets up, uncovers her nakedness, uncovers his own nakedness to reach for a ticket. I said, oh, this is a baby. This is a baby. And it definitely gave circa 2000, 2001. I know this era very well. Okay. So I was like, oh, he just graduated, or he's taking like a senior trip with his girlfriend to Italy. He's doing all the touristy things, tapping into his photography bag. The Pinky her auntie gets hit by a lorry, whatever a lorry is. I'm like, is it a trolley? Is it a car? Anyway, she's got a jet back to London. And so now he's in Italy alone. He's trying to connect with the locals. They're not feeling him. They said, bro, get away. You can't sit here. Okay. And so he goes to the beach one day and he sees this blonde vision on the beach with a sheer whatever. She got her little boy and he's snapping pics because I think he's a creep, okay, in my opinion. Tyra, talk to me about Jonathan and what do you think of him upon meeting him? We didn't get a ton of depth, but what did you think about his little situation here?
Hey man, we're not gonna call Jonathan no creep, okay? We know what he came there with Pinky for. We came here to get it in. And
No,
she
I'm
gone.
talking about on the beach, ma'am. It was cringe.
Hell, I mean, I'm bored. She's standing in my light. Like, what are you talking about? I'm minding my business on the beach, trying to, mingle with the locals. They said you can't sit here. They gave him the Forrest Gump treatment. Can't sit over here. Like, the girlfriend isn't here. They open with that very graphic getting it in scene to show us what his purpose was. This is a virile, young, man. He with the humps. He came here to get it in, have his girl. It's like, okay, well, that's not that. We came here together, but I have X amount of whatever left of this holiday, and I'm alone. Well, all right. He's just grasping at anything. It's as a young person, which goes to show how young he is. We can go all the way over there to Italy and still somehow be bored. Because he came there to frolic in Italy and get pictures, but he came there to have, free flowing sex and spend some time with his girlfriend. And she's not here. And then I see this gorgeous older woman. Cool. I'm just taking pictures. Sure, let me put this down or I'm caught. Yeah, but did you really see me though? Like, did you and then oh, is she giving me a little play? Is she flirting with me? If there is any chance that this older lady is acknowledging me enough to flirt, well, let me go get her bag. Let me, I don't have anything else to do. This is a bored, what seems to be a teenager. We don't know exactly how old he is, but this is somebody's child. And that was somebody's mama. And she wanted attention at that moment from this child. It feels like that there were moments, I'm sure we'll get into them, where she could have, oh, this is not that. Maybe I'm grown. No, she entertained this. It felt like she entertained it. I felt like she knew he was taking pictures of her. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, you better do that. Ain't I fine? Because that man who left me here with this son, maybe he didn't think I was that fine. But you do. Come on over here, young man.
Child, the issues of a kept woman, I guess. Quana, talk to me about Jonathan, and also talk to me about Jonathan only sending the postcard to his mom. Not, hey, mom and dad. It was, hey, mom.
I really need them to tell me how old Jonathan is. I need that in the next episode, please and thank you, because I want to make this a little bit right for old girl. Okay. Please let him be at least 21.
He ain't
That
21. He ain't 21. If he 18, I'm
Maybe
surprised.
17. I'm giving Jonathan 17. Maybe that, because the way he acts is giving me 16-year-old.
it was giving young. The only thing is when he and what's the little girl's name? Sasha we're talking about all of her experiences. He seems very enamored with an experienced woman, and he was almost like getting aroused by all of her experiences when she was talking to him. I didn't appreciate how he did "Oh Boy" on the gondola. First, let me say that was rude. I can't stand no folks to go somewhere else and be rude to the people. It bothers me. But in terms of his mom, I do think that is so interesting that the postcard was only to her, especially in light of what she says about her husband being gone. I really want to know what that dynamic was. And it just seems like it kind of like maybe she was the one who kind of coddled him and allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do. And I feel like there's going to be a parallel between him and his mother and Katherine and Nicholas.
I'm all for parallels and storytelling, but we'll see. I don't know if damn Catherine is close to anybody. I want to believe she had somebody, but I don't know. Kay, what do you think about Jonathan? What did you think about Jonathan upon meeting him? And was he cringe on that beach, taking pictures of people without their consent or permission?
He was cringe when from the opening scene. Okay. I was like, there's nothing smooth about this at all.
He's a
We could have
child.
opened up with another shot. We didn't need to see that. Why would y'all choose that to open up? And
Hey,
a
they wanted
friend.
to show us what she was entertaining that young man for.
Because, sir, if your so-called girlfriend had to leave early, if you really cared about her, you would go with her in her time of need. But you want to sit at the
Mhm.
beach and still go and live your best life. To do what exactly was your reason for being out there? Because if it was y'all was going out there to hang together, if y'all go together, then y'all leave together. But you hung back.
He saw her off at the train station. He said, "All right, baby."
He said I spent my fare, okay? I spent my fare. I was promised sex and a good time in Italy. If you ain't gonna do it, somebody out here.
That's
I'm
what I
gonna
said.
be out here.
After
I'm
that, I
leaving here
knew
with
I
something.
exactly. I'm leaving. So,
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so now we are sorry, y'all. This, it just doesn't want to let me be great tonight. But we are now out of Italy and we are with Stephen. And again, it's if we didn't need to hear it before, I just wanted to just put it again in your face so you know. It's like I said before, it's up and it's stuck. F these kids and this job. I don't need any of this. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna grieve for my wife, and I'm gonna do something I probably should have done a long time ago, which was empty her closet, go through this stuff. It's been a while. You know what I mean? It's been a while since she's passed. And now I have purpose. I'm on a revenge mission. And now listen here. Okay. I'm on a revenge mission. I find a hidden manuscript. I go to my buddy who's in publishing apparently, who can get the job done. And let's just do it. But not only that, I find some pictures. I find some pictures and I go from being elated and happy, reminiscing on yesterday, to seeing that this woman who I thought was an innocent bystander of my life's demise. I said, "Oh, he's poetic." You heard that? Innocent bystander of my life's demise. Okay. And now I see that she was busting it wide open. She's got on the lingerie. She is touching her body. I said, I didn't even know they captured all this on, the 30 millimeter or whatever film that you got to go take to get developed. Who developed them pictures? It looked like it came from, like, the local store that you used to go to. He didn't
One
have
hour photo.
what is it? A dark room, sir. No shame. But again, nothing to lose. Wife's dead, son's gone, manuscript found, and I found your nasty pictures. Kay, talk to me about just the revelation of it all and kind of the sheer joy it seemed to bring Stephen to finally have a mission to be outside of his emotion. Now I can make somebody pay. Now I have somebody to blame.
Um, it's like he quit it. They gave him confirmation that he did the right thing quitting that job, because he said, once when one opportunity you lose, another one comes back by you. And this was an opportunity. He said, I can get a book here. I can get some information on somebody. It's some information out there that we have not gotten. I need to close some chapters. I need some resolution for what has happened. And look at all the tools that I need to go on my revenge mission. And it's just like it just fell into his lap all of a sudden, which gave him that little extra motivation and push he needed to do what needed to be done.
And he did it. And he did it. Quana, I mean, one door closed and the window opened. What do you think about his revenge mission? Are you here for this? Are you here for this type of carrying on?
I am. I'm coming at it from as soon as the first scene with him at the school happened. I said, I understand this man. As a teacher, been in the profession for a grip. I understand this man. The minute you done called me into this office, and he tried to say they should have called me in before. He said they should have called me in before, but you done called me into this office. He was done. He was like, you gonna entertain this foolishness? I'm done. And at that point, I think there was nothing left to lose. Now, I will say, he got his pension. He's like, okay, I done lost my wife. I lost my kid. I got my pension. That's it. Let me go. Let me just go all in. Let me go ham and get back all my guts. But I'm really interested in the levels his wife took to hide all of that, because you had that purse was up underneath the wardrobe with the key in it. Like, she was hiding that stuff. And so I really want to know what more she learned and what information, maybe what kept her sitting on it and not doing anything with it. There's a reason she held back. So I'm really interested in that. But I think this is going to get spicy. And I like that he has nothing to lose in it.
Same. So Tyra, if you're Steven and you're going through and you see the pictures, the developed pictures that somebody took to the shop to get developed, and you see this woman who you thought was just a bystander to everything that happened, and find out that there was some intimacy, some love games that were being played with your son, are you enraged in this way? Or is it the combination of what's in the manuscript and the pictures?
Girl, just off the pictures, I'm calling the cops, and I might roll up on you. Because how old, like Quana said, I want to know how old that son was, because that determines. Really, I'm gonna be mad anyway, because you very grown, you mother, or you not somebody's mother. Like, I'm mad off GP. I would have been at her door, because he knows exactly who this woman is. They've spoken to her. I'm sure she was maybe questioned, and whatever happened, she's like, well, it probably was well, I just found him, or I didn't. Like, she clearly lied. What I'm more interested in is the lengths that the wife went to hide these, and that even though this is his sole mission and purpose now, I want to take her down. I feel like there were problems present in their marriage and, him as a father, the relationship with the son, way prior to whatever transpired with her. And I think that's going to be a hindrance on this mission he has, because he's now making it solely about her. And I know she has some fault, because, girl, what exactly did you do? You did something. But something happened, like, for that distance to happen. Like, why was that relationship so broken? If there was something that happened and occurred with our son, I'm sharing it with my husband. The lady said he was dead.
That's what she said.
But we are kind of, in the in-between, because we have so much sympathy for his character already. And like, oh, he's in a sweater. He put the lipstick on, and he like, if I could only just kiss my wife again. And I'm just, that looks all good right now. But who were you to her, and what were your relationships prior to her dying, prior to you guys losing your son? What was that like? So once we get back there, that's why I said, whose narrative should we be trusting? Because, I'm on Kevin's side all day. and he just
I,
gonna be okay.
yeah, I'm curious now also the way that they framed his grief. Is
Mm.
the grief really about loss, or was there something that happened in the marriage that he feels guilty about? That kind of begs some questions and opens up the narrative, I think. And hopefully we get to dive deep and figure out, what that's all about at some point. Let's see. Now we move on to Catherine, and she's got everything to lose. This woman's a lunatic, okay? Because who sits up in a book, or sits up in the bed, reading a book, chewing their hair, then gets up after you done? I'm going to the kitchen. I'm going to set it on fire. I'm going to set off all the alarms. He comes in running like he's some sort of Captain Save-A-Ho. And I didn't even quite understand the urgency with which he's running. Has she set stuff on fire
Oh,
before?
child.
Because you acted like she was a child playing with matches. He said, "Oh gosh, let me get this." And I'm like, "What? They know it's me. It's me. It's me. It's me. Oh, Robert, there's just things you don't know." And he says, "I know, and it's okay." And so what I'm curious about and want to know from you ladies, what the hell did he know? Because at the end he didn't know anything. Quana, what did he know? What did he think
He
he
ain't know
knew?
nothing. Robert is controlling. Robert is a butthole. I feel a little sorry for him, but not too much. Because as soon as he came in there, he's vomiting and she's setting stuff on fire, and he's over here like, well, "What are you doing?" And she's lighting the book on fire. What you mean? You see what
You
she's
see
doing?
it.
Like he act like she was setting the house on fire. It was in a still think. He was acting like so dramatic, and then he kind of just silenced her. She was trying to explain to him, "This book is about me," and he's like, "Oh, no, you're ridiculous. You're like, sir, are
He
you
said, "But is your
actually
name in it?"
listening?"
He said, "But is your name in it?"
Yeah, like what are you doing? Like you're not listening to her, you're not hearing her. And that alone just infuriated me so much because he was just talking over her. And then even when she was talking about her concerns with the son, he was like, "Oh, no." And then he came back and wanted to throw all of that back in her face. And so I was like, "Oh, you're definitely complicit in a lot of this stuff that's happening, that especially with regard to their son. I think he pacified him, just let him do whatever. And now he's a bum. And she said, "You gotta get your bum behind out my house." But and he's not happy. But no, oh my gosh, she just got me so mad that first scene. I was like, "Oh, I'm ready for you to get whatever you need to get because you're not hearing her, sir."
You have a completely different revelation of him. I Well, later on I see that. I saw it more in episode 2 in like the final scene, and of course we'll get to that. But here I just wondered, I was like, is she on the edge all the time? It made me feel like he was used to trying to run to her rescue. Tyra, talk to me about this. What'd you see? What'd you see between them? And why was he running like he was the fireman or had his cape on? What was going on? Is it
Or first,
control?
there's no picture here, but that's neither here nor there. Second,
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Let me try again.
you're fine,
I don't
Ashley.
know what's
I just
happening.
know how you feel. I know you want your images and stuff there, but that man been through some stuff. He has been through some stuff with that woman. He has been through some things with her. I feel like she's an attention seeker. She manipulates to get her way. She acts out. That's a child in a woman's body. She is throwing like she likes to get her way, and whatever she has to do to get her way, he's been there to experience it all. And it's like, oh Lord, here you go again, setting something on fire. Last time we had to call the fire department. It just feels like he has been through some stuff. And that's why it was so easy towards the end of that episode for him to just flip. It's like, okay, this is the last straw. When he said, like, well, I've been through and I know, it's like, I know. The fact that he said I know means that she's done other stuff. She's done other stuff that she maybe thought was a secret or that he didn't know about. It's just like, oh, you mean that one time when you had did that thing? Maybe I already knew about that, and I'm not going to judge you. He know nothing about Italy, about those photos, about this boy. He didn't know. He was like, well, hell, I thought it was you did something else. Okay, now this is something else that's like heavily affecting our marriage. This is you cheating. This is you, lying for years since then when our son was 4. Yeah, you're this is not something I want to deal with. I've dealt with everything else up until that. You stressing me out. Get the hell away from me and leave me alone.
And what was stressing me out was all the dinnerware on the daggum
Man,
counters.
we don't
And
trust people
I
who
said,
let
are
their
they
cat
moving?
jump on
Maybe
the
they're
counter.
moving because
She
they
let
were.
that cat jump on the counter mid-meal.
I left the cat
Mid-meal prep.
That got
That's
that I was upset. I was upset.
that. Ill. Disgusting.
Okay. As she was cooking that bland fish, we'll get to it.
No seasoning.
Okay. Is Catherine a problematic queen here in these streets?
He ran to her rescue because she's played a damsel in distress for so long. That's what he's used to doing. He's tired at this point because you know what? I'm on his side with this one. Why are you burning a book inside of my house? Go out. You know if they got money, they probably got a fire pit or something. Take that to the fire pit and burn it with some sticks or some trash or something. Why are you burning something in my house? And then better yet, a book. Who burns a book? It's suspicious. Have y'all ever walked around? Have y'all ever seen in your life somebody set a book on fire? I'm going to be suspicious of that too. That is something that I've never seen. Okay. We treat books with the utmost respect. So if you're burning a book, I'm already suspicious. Okay. Because we don't do like that. And I don't want to hear no it's about you. I mean, what is this the best man? Did you know the person who wrote it?
Hey, this lady ain't all that. This lady sat and burnt that book like, I'm burning this. This is the last, only, and final copy. I'm getting this the hell out of here. Girl, if they sent it to you, there's clearly more where that came from. Like, what is burning it going to do?
Child, she like Harper wrote that story and knew her personally.
She saw that self-published cover. She said, "Oh, I'm burning. This is the only copy that exists."
That's what I said. I'm like, he definitely has more. He got a batch. I think he got at least 100. All right. Can you guys see this now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So what we know, and this is just a status check after these two episodes, because we don't know much, okay? But we know a couple things. We know one, an affair was had, okay? We know that they went all the way to the jungle and they have images to prove it, okay? Two, we know that Nick's life was saved, all right, seemingly by Jonathan. That was confirmed. And we know that Jonathan's mama knew it all because before this, we had no clue that she had actually reached out and had a sit down with Catherine that was a mess. In my opinion, because Catherine said, no, no, you can't meet my son. Well, my son saved your son's life. Is that I don't give a damn. Die slow. That's what I felt like she said. And in her mind, this was the only person who was privy to everything that was going on. Because again, the husband's dead. I'll be survived by no one. My son's gone. She was terminally ill. So she thinks her secret is safe. Y'all, am I missing anything? Is there anything else that we know for sure at this point as it relates to the mystery? Okay.
We know that and that little boy Nicholas, is too daggone old. That was a big behind 4-year-old. That little boy said, "I'm 4." I was like, 4 where? That's a big 4. That's a big 4-year-old.
Oh my goodness. Kay, is there anything I missed? Is there anything else that we know? Anything here that you want to expound upon at all?
That the mom know that she's lying about something. She tried to confront her pretty much on her deathbed that I know something about you. We know the son does not remember, says he doesn't remember anything. I think that he remembers, but there's a trauma there that's blocking it. So whatever he saw or remembers, that it's his mind has repressed it, and that's poor parenting on her behalf. We also We also know that Steven knows the story about something. Okay. At this point, a good bit of people right now knows except for her husband. Everybody else know but him.
Robert is just delusional. He's in his own Lord.
He
He's in
said, "You
his
ain't
own.
never sent me those pictures before. You ain't never sent me
He's
none of them."
we gonna get into him because I was like, really, sir? At this moment, I want to know from the perspective of Jonathan's mom because the book is entitled "A Perfect Stranger," and I want to know, Tyra, who's the perfect one? Was Jonathan this perfect stranger? Or was it Catherine? I'm really, really curious about the narrative and what story she's telling in this book. What do you think? And is there anything else we know that I don't have pictured here?
No, everything's pretty much here. I'm liking Kat to be the perfect stranger because from what they maybe knew about her or whatever the narrative was, she maybe made it look like, she found him or tried to help, or we don't know anything, but it was something to make them go, um she was there, she was on the scene enough to, be questioned about it. And for her to say, oh no, I didn't know him or anything, but it was just this. Sorry to this man. So she's, maybe that perfect stranger. Um, when it comes to those pictures over there, I want to know what was the husband like a leg up for her? What would make her settle for someone who wasn't sexually satisfying her for so long? Because clearly she was repressing something. Like, I haven't, girl. I've been over here with this man, and it's not hidden for nothing. This isn't it. I want to know what was the leverage in this marriage to stay in it for her. Because clearly, I think he had some coin. I think she could control him. It was a little leg up, but she wanted more. But in the midst of her getting, to where she wanted to be via her lifestyle, this man or whatever, she wasn't being satisfied in that way, and that was a moment for her to unleash and cheat. And I'm more curious about her relationship with her son, because it's very clear that she's a bad mom. I was over this son, but I have to, think back to whatever their relationship was and the lacking of mothering. Clearly she wasn't there, and he wasn't made to do anything or achieve anything or be whatever. He been chilling. He's been chilling, and she's been, chasing her career goals. And maybe he had that relationship with his dad, and he was there to coddle and probably be, I'm not forcing him to do anything. I'm trying to make up for whatever I feel like he's lacking with the mom and just be, a happy dad. Meanwhile, he's sitting on his butt not doing a thing. I want to know why that baby lived in a crack den. I want to know that. Why y'all living in a crack house?
She said, "Why is he living in squalor?"
I want to know why them feet dirty and why he was in. I thought he was on the drugs. I say, oh, he got it's a needle somewhere. Check his belongings. Check his pockets, Dad.
Oh no, seriously, baby. When we watched it, he was like, "Oh, he's high." I said, "What?"
Because they said it smelled of like weed in the spot. I was like, baby, we don't do that. He looked like he need a fix. Something ain't right. But and then there's just this this it's something very dark in the sun, and it makes me tie back into the saving of his life, even though he was 4. It feels like something happened to where he's like, I don't remember anything, or don't ask me anything about that. It was something touched him in a way to where he's had some type of arrested development and hasn't grown or has no ambition aside from the parenting that he's got. But it takes a certain kind of a lot of women, like they from some type of means to y'all left him there. I thought they were putting I didn't you left him there. Like that was a crack house.
She said, "Get it where you live." She said, "I'm sick of you." And probably, I think people who have children or anyone in their lives who've had near-death experiences may, especially in the years surrounding that, go overboard to coddle, protect, to spoil because they're glad that they made it, right? So, I mean, that could speak to it. I for whatever reason, I can never see her as a doting mother. And it's probably just because of how she's presented right now. Yeah, and that Ravenscraft, that name got money on it. It got legacy on it. And when we talk about it later, he's like, "My family told me never to get with you. They said you were gonna drag me to the pits."
Oh yeah,
and
she
that's exactly what you did. She was probably, from the other side of the tracks, and the family was probably elite in that time. But now we have the three-prong plan. Because Stephen just didn't say, "I'm going to just do this one thing." He says, "No, this is an aerial assault. I'm going to start with Katherine. We're going to move to Nicholas. Then we're going to hit Robert up." So, of course, we know that the book has already been delivered to Katherine. We know that that's the situation. I think she got the pictures too, because she had kind of tossed the pictures aside and started reading the book, chewing her hair. Then he says, "Okay, now let me get to the son, because the son is the weakest link." When he called that boy delayed,
he lied. What was the lie?
He said, "Listen," he said, "because he's slow." He said, "I wrote down all these names." So, he said, like taking candy from a baby, and the way he grinned walking away. I said, Nicholas at least was trying to be good at his job. He said, well, sir, we've got this vacuum clean, and then the final throng, the final pin in this plan was, okay, let's give it to Robert, because Robert's going to spaz. I'm not just going to drop it off at reception downstairs. No, I'm going to walk it up to the office and say, it's immediate. He's been looking for this. And then not only that, but how you going to reprint the pictures on 8x10 sheets? You said it just wasn't enough to have the regular size. Let me blow them up. Kay Bly over at Slice of Horror, talk to me about this 3-prong plan. He executed it seamlessly. What did you think of it?
Child, the way that poor baby could not spell that man's name after he done spelled. I said, is it just me or is he? He said, this how you spell it. He was like, say it again. Can you say it again? Can you write? You know what? You might have to write that down for me because I didn't catch that. Can you give it to me one more time? The hell? It's a name. He was just look. My guy was not getting it. And she had a nerve to kick him out the house. Ma'am, do you know your son's slow? That's why he over there. He over there living in the gutters. Oh, he ain't got life skills. He can't even read good and can't spell. And y'all got him over there thinking he gonna live a successful life. Y'all got to pull him back on in the house. That was not a good idea. But Stephen, this was a good idea, okay? He said, I'm going to set my plan in motion and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. And I can't wait because see, now I know she going to have to respond to this, okay? Because when that man walk out of that door, and he probably was somewhere set up in one of those little undercover vans and dark vehicles with the lights off, making sure he's seen the husband come out. Now, when she was like, when he come out, I'ma know that the plan is working and she's gonna have to strike back.
Oh my gosh, Stephen was hilarious. He walked away from Nicholas like, dang, I thought he was at least gonna try to sell me something. I might have bought something. He said, nah, he don't have it in him. Tyra, talk to me about this 3-prong assault. This 3-prong plan.
He said, Nicholas, what a waste. Like, what a waste. I expected more of you. This is your king. This is your son. Get out of here. That was funny. That was really, really funny. Child, poor Robert. Poor Robert. And she thought she was doing her big one, baby. This that meal, okay? Ain't no seasoning on it. But this that fish, this that dinner I prep every single time I want to get closer to my husband. She's like, yes. She said, Charles, your lunch is ready. That's what she said. She knew that man was coming home. He comes home 7:00. Oh, he here. If I say I'm cooking this dish, he here at 6:59. Okay? He's immersed in these pictures in this book because he knew, I'm glad he knew, just giving it to her, she's not gonna, come forth and let him, no, let me make sure that you get it. And I love how unassuming he is because everybody's just per usual. I love that narrative of underestimating either, children or the elderly. Well, what is he gonna do? It's like 70. He isn't gonna do anything. No, I'm here to resume the chaos. He was going through those things and looking like, girl, in my however umpteen years, girl, you ain't never looked at me like this. Who is this? What is this? Girl, he was just stopped in his tracks and he really looked heartbroken. And she in there cooking with that cat on the counter. She just coming home.
And he plotted to ghost her too. That was a choice to ghost her. He said, I ain't never did this, but I'm gonna get you.
He went to that son. I know he gonna go seek that man out and to have a sit down with him. He gonna want to know answers because somebody's gonna tell me something because she's been lying to me for quite some time. Whatever their little marriage was, baby, it's done. But I do love her narration in the show. It's kind of like she's reading her own novel and just Katherine was mad. Like Robert, he saw her. She was all, with her hands in her panties. She did that for me, girl. It was just too much.
A story.
It was too much for him to bear. It's almost like I already know how this ends, but it's like, did it end in or out of your favor? But your Katherine is her life is unraveling slowly, and she didn't even know it because she had that fish on, baby.
That nasty fish. Everything they make in that kitchen's got a hairball in it. Just, Quana, what did you think of this 3-prong plan that Stephen had?
I think that Stephen is out for replicating his outcome.
Mm.
And so I think that he's not going to be satisfied until somebody's in the ground and until reputations are growing. And I don't know that he started out that way, but I think the minute that he met Nicholas and he said, "Oh no, this little I'm over here telling this little boy I can't afford this, and he gonna try to sell me this expensive behind Dyson and not show me any care or respect. Oh, you about to get you are a byproduct of your mama, and you about to get this too." And I think he's gonna feel like he's not gonna be satisfied until she loses her son the way he lost his son. However, that has to happen.
Oh, could it
And
be at his hands?
I think however it has to happen. I think it could be physical, it could be just emotional, but I think it's definitely it is smart. He's very smart with how he's handling things because as right now they can't place him. And I love the little literary little Easter eggs that they're dropping in here. The fact that he gave him the name of Joseph Conrad, Heart of Darkness, which, that's a whole nother thing, but kind of it made me think like he is as stoic as that character is in Heart of Darkness, that he's kind of trying to shut down his heart and his feeling because he's not going to need that. He needs to get rid of that in order to do what he has to do.
Lord have mercy.
And the narration, Tyra brought up the narration. I was like, first I was a little irritated. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, wait a second, okay, we got first person, now we got second person, now we got third person. Why we have to come on, Alfonso? Why we gotta deal with all of this? It's too much switching POV. I really want to know what he's saying by the fact that Steven has first person narration. She is telling her story through the second person lens, and then we have her voice, or at least I don't know if it's supposed to be her voice or the mama's voice telling Robert's narration from third person. So I'm really interested in whose truth and whose narrative are we going to get at the end of it. Whose truth is going to emerge?
I feel like she triumphed for some reason because she's still going like, this is when I was down. He thought he had me. Like, that's when I was back up. I'm like, did she win? It's making me feel like she won.
And the fact that she threw out the fact that Robert's family was money laundering, I said, oh, she's going to definitely be willing to take him down if need be to save her reputation. Like, she has to throw him overboard in order to save herself. She's definitely doing that.
By any means necessary. One thing is for certain, though, y'all, with all of that, and I'd be interested. What if Steven gives him the dope? If he does really have a drug problem, that would take Nicholas out. That would be
he owned him drug. Did you see them ankles walking up the stairs?
Flawless victory. Lord. Okay. Katherine is guilty as sin. That's one thing we know, right? She was not a bystander in his life's demise, baby. I think she had a hand in it. I don't trust Katherine as far as I can throw her. And the meeting that she has in her office with some of her workers, to me, was indicative of that. She said, let me sit down here like a journalist. Let me see who knows. Okay. And let's shift this narrative over here to the left. Okay. And so now we see an accusation. All right. She's like, look into so-and-so. We find out that he was Cambridge or Oxford educated, that Steven has worked in education for 30 years, that wifey did as well. Wifey worked in education also, and that he is still very much alive. He's 77 years old, and he's got an axe to grind. And, her underling wants to know, well, what are we doing this for? Oh, nothing just yet. I just, I'm getting my ducks in a row. And again, she's here with her list. Well, she said he was dead, but he's not. So this is my only point of contact. This is the culprit. This is who I need to go after. And, nothing beats, a good, defense, but a good offense. So she said, let me get on the offensive. And I mean, do I make this, declaration? Do I insinuate that he might be a ped? Quana, because you alluded to this very early in the live, talk to me about what you think Katherine's planning. What's up her sleeve?
Oh, I definitely think that even if he is completely innocent, she is going to fight fire with fire. And I think as soon as we heard her kind of inquiring about him and digging into his background, she's going to unearth whatever skeletons there may be. And maybe this is connected to why we don't hear about him when Jonathan was writing the postcard. Maybe there was some kind of friction, or separation with mom and dad at the time because of something he did, because something Jonathan found out. We don't know. But I think even if maybe where there is smoke, there is fire. But if there isn't, I definitely think she's not above planting some seeds.
I don't think so either. I mean, in her space is investigative journalism, right? She's a documentarian. She knows what it takes to build a story. And I just wonder why that was the go-to. Like, why are we, is it because he worked with the children? Tyra, talk to me about Katherine and her plan. How is she going to shift the narrative?
The only reason I'm skeptical about that is because we don't know how old their son was. Like, it'd be one thing if it was whatever and this was, a grown man. I feel like this was the child. Like, her is going to be like how are you going to call me out on something that you took place in yourself and we have proof? Like, I feel like that would be blowing up her own spot. I don't know. I just don't know what else she could get at. I think he may have done something. Maybe something has occurred in his past, but I don't feel like that's the thing to go for. That's just that wasn't no man. That was somebody's child, and you were laying down with somebody's child because in her, wake of explaining things to her husband, she's never said how old he was. He's dead. He's dead. Okay, but how old was he? When was this? She hasn't said that, and neither has they. But just in the way that he was moving, the way that the counterpart, the girlfriend looked. This looks like a teenager. So I would hope that she wouldn't do that because you're blowing up your own spot. I feel like she's going to have an angle, but I don't know if it's that one.
Okay. I definitely think there's going to be an element of trying to discredit, but really, I mean, the truth stands. So, girl, if you were culpable and it was you, I don't know if there's any amount of discrediting you can do that would take away from your own situation. Kay, how do you think Katherine's going to shift the narrative?
I feel like that putting that on there is, if she can't take them down any other way, we're gonna use that. We're gonna toss that one out there. But I definitely think that she's going to do her own investigate because she thought that he was she didn't even know this man was alive. So she's probably gonna go and do her due diligence. She probably gonna go see where he used to work at, maybe talk to some students, go by their house where he stay at and whatnot. She gonna do some investigating first.
Some investigative journalism. She's gonna do it. And Kwana, I'm sorry, did I cut you off earlier? I didn't mean to. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to this? I'm sorry.
No, I will just say that it's very interesting. I don't know. We saw him unpacking the things from his wife's passing, and yet we never saw anything in the home to indicate Jonathan's presence. We didn't see much of it yet, but we didn't really see much of that. So it makes me wonder, I think there's going to be something there. I think there's a connection. I will say, I thought that when they were on the beach, though, that Katherine seemed, I wouldn't know that she wasn't a good mom with how she was on the beach with Nicholas. And so there was something, obviously she was lonely, whatever manipulative she got drawn to Jonathan. I can't wait till we see their actual flashback together to see what he tells her, because I think that there's something there.
So do you think something changes in her during that summer?
Yeah, I think this is kind of like an Eve's Bayou situation where, because Nicholas was there and he saw whatever it was he saw, she cut him off. She distanced herself from him because it was going to be a reminder of what happened. So I think maybe before then she could have had the potential to be a good mama. She probably was so selfish, but she had the potential. But that was like, oh, I have to distance myself from him because he reminds me of what happened. But I definitely want to know what Jonathan told her about his home life, because I think he is the one who said maybe the dad was dead. So maybe there was he, how kids get when they're like in movies and stuff, when they don't like their parent and they're done, like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah. I'm curious. So, well, I mean, I'd imagine the intimacy went beyond the physical. Um, I mean, I just imagine if she was really desperate for, affection or love or whatever, that thing was. Bear with me, y'all, because it just, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what the dynamic of the relationship, because I don't know. On first glance, you think, okay, she just wanted some of that boy. She just wanted some of him by any means necessary. Was there ever a deep connection? So I'll be curious if they explore that more. Now let's get into Robert, baby. Robert, I got you. Stephen was out there waiting outside the job house, outside the workhouse, and said, okay, I know when Robert goes in there. And we kind of already talked about this, so we can ease on down this road a little bit. But I will say this, I did feel for Robert in this moment. I think that would be a shock to anyone's system to see that your wife that you've been married to 20 plus years was busting it wide open. And not only that, but was wearing the panties that you bought her for you. But we'll get into that. But first, he says, I'm standing you up in that bland fish, as Tyra mentioned earlier. And Nicholas, I know you were only 4, but do you remember that summer we were in Italy? Was there a man there? Kay, why would Nicholas ever remember? What do you remember anything from the time you were 4 years old, ma'am? Like, I was like, sir, what's the meaning of this dinner? What are we doing here?
You remember things that stand out to you. I definitely remember, because I remember stuff like me having to go to my sister's class in preschool because she cried all the time. Okay, I distinctly remember that, because I'm more of a social, but was more social than she was, and she was more introverted, and they would pull me out of class to go calm her down. So there are some things that I remember. But when something traumatic happens to you at a young age, your brain will hide it from you. So if it was something that his mind was not able to handle and comprehend, his brain had suppressed it from him. And so although he knows that something happened, he could not process it at that age. So he's not able to tell what happened right now. He probably should have went to therapy for this, because look at how his life turned out. The boy can't even read and write good. Okay. So there is a developmental block there. He should have worked this out in some type of therapy, because he can't remember it, but it still affected him. It still messed up his growth and development.
Tyra, what purpose did this serve?
None at all. Man, just go home. Go face your wife. Go face your wife. At least the baby got a meal. He don't need to miss a meal.
He looked hungry.
He got a meal. I felt like he was even, just lying. I guess this girlfriend, I've been hanging out at her place. I'm like, you ain't got no girlfriend. you don't. I'm more concerned with the fact that the dad, like, he's seeing, like, you're living in squalor. This is like, he was disgusted. Like, we're having this narration, but he isn't doing anything about it. Why are we still, even in this moment, well, I could pay for you and the girlfriend. Who cares what she thinks? Well, how about we get him out of here? How about we get to the root of what's wrong? It's one thing to be, underdeveloped, or because at first I just thought he was lazy and he was, just the average privileged kid. Like, no, something's wrong. He needs some help. Baby is depressed, and I think baby got a needle somewhere. It's not looking good, but we can't even see to that because we're still like, so yeah, when you were 4, like, what do you see how he's living up in here? Did you see the hole in his sock? Did you see the state of that apartment? Like, for him to get to this space, it had to be, they both played a role in the son here and how he ended up. And I wanted him to make sure that he I guess once he's together mentally beyond them pictures and his wife, that he goes and checks in with his son, because I feel like something gonna happen to the boy.
Yeah, well, theirs is the only relationship that you saw kind of consistently through the first 2 episodes that they actually had a caring, like, come watch the football with me, come, come do this. And of course, we know she spazzed when she finds out that Nicholas has read the book and says she got what she deserved. Yeah, she deserved it.
Yeah, he felt that, like, this reminding me of you. That's what he wanted to say. It felt like you, because it's something, and I don't know if this has to do with the near-death experience or what, but even with that, with their marriage, when we get to, like, he's had a place of, you know, being busy and really invested in his job. So at one place, it's kind of like they swapped. And maybe, you know, once she distanced herself from the son and she got more into her career, she was neglectful and he was neglectful. Maybe he's been, you know, that active dad because he wasn't for so long. But they both played a role in this. He doesn't just get this way just off of that mama alone. And just because they happen to put him out, that's just, it's one thing to be, you know, push the bird out of the nest. They pushed him into that's a Delphine. I know a crackhead when I see one.
He got drugs in his pocket, according to Tyra. Well, I will say it's interesting. The dad was trying to lobby for him. You know, are you sure, you know, you want to put him out? Are you sure this, sure that? Quana,
But
what
why
do you
even let her? Why even let her? You ain't put my son. It's one thing to put him out. I thought they were like setting him up. Like, you know, hey, this is you. You have your job, you pay your rent. We'll help you. You need to start, you know, being responsible for yourself. This was not the kid who needed to just be pushed out of the nest and you're gonna fend for yourself from now on. And that, how do we go from that? I love when they're talking and he's like, I'll wait for you, and you putting your shoes on, and he's talking about wines. Like, he knows about the finer things in life. You speaking on some fancy wines and you got a hole in your left sock. Something's
you
wrong.
said got that baby living in squalor? Quana.
Once we find out that they have money, especially the daddy got old school money laundering money. Like, I'm like, Tyra, why he didn't rent him an apartment and pay the first year and say, here, I'm gonna put you here. We're gonna pretend like you rented this on your own. Like, if you really truly cared all like that, there definitely there were things that could have been done. And so just to throw him to the wolves and you realize something ain't right with your kid, this is on both of them. I will say, though, Mama was helping him pack up that stuff, but you did see when she found that little dog called Sandy, and she started getting real nostalgic and like, oh, remember you used to take this everywhere. So there definitely were some feelings that I think she cut off, and she had that moment where she was brought back to when he was little. But yeah, this whole scene right here was foolishness, because I understand that you're in your feelings, but you're prodding your kid to get intel on your wife instead of taking her behind home and saying, because what more do you need? You got the pictures. You got her spread eagle with the hand down her drawers. What you need him for? At that point,
he wanted all the receipts.
But so I just thought that's a bad position to put your kid in when you don't know what's going on. You're trying to dig into his memory and trigger him to some past trauma. After he didn't already say he didn't know what the book was. He obviously was like, I don't have time, I don't care, I'm leaving, get me out of here. And now you're prodding, and like Tyra said, you don't care that he living in a crack house. So
why you care about what happened 20 years ago when he
yes.
was 20 years old?
Oh. And then it felt like the son was blocking something. It felt like he was forcing himself to say I don't think he wants to remember what it was, but I think he remembers something. I'm not one of them people who I can barely remember what happened last week. Don't ask me about nothing that happened when I was 4.
But I guess if there was a near-death experience, if you almost drowned or whatever the case may be, that could be.
I wonder if he went mute for a little while after it happened. Because when I was a kid, I told everything.
A lot of kids all tell everything.
My daddy had a lot of Army friends, and he got told very early not to bring me around because I didn't know any better. I would be telling stuff. Oh, we went to so-and-so's house. I was telling stuff. So it makes me wonder if whatever he witnessed, he got mute and he maybe didn't develop for a little while after that because he was so traumatized.
Yeah, it's something, because for him to not have witnessed something when y'all was living y'all best life, where was he? Who was he with? Like, you were, she probably wasn't there.
Y'all, it all fell apart. It all falls apart. Even that nasty fish. I don't know why she thought that fish was gonna save you, girl.
All them fish heads.
And your tears won't work, lady. I bought you them panties. So we get the full 4 uno. Okay, we go back 20 years, and he says, I was looking through them pictures, girl, and I recognized the hotel room because this was a vacation we were on together. I had to step away to make money and provide for this family. And here you were busting it up in that red lingerie that I bought you. And this was during a time you've been giving me the coot nanny. You told me your head hurt every single night. I remember. And, she tries to pass the buck. Well, you weren't there. Oh, so now you're going to blame me, Lucy Pearl. You're going to blame me, Katherine, for this situation? How long did it go on, Catherine? What happened? What's going on? Better yet, no. Let me leave. Let me read this book. Let me go on and finish this book, and we can revisit the conversation, y'all. This was such it was lazy on her part for me, because the passing of the buck, right? No, it's because you were gone. Then that didn't work. So let me put on the tears. No, just don't leave. I'm so sorry. I can we can fix it. Just don't leave me, Robert. Just don't leave me, Robert. It was a long time ago. I'm not that. I hate me for what I did to you. Girl, you didn't hate it when you was busting it wide open for that young boy. You didn't hate it. You hadn't even thought about it. You just thought no one knew and was going to ever be able to expose you, which is why you didn't open up to your husband. I think this is so telling about the state of their relationship, with or without the infidelity, right? They don't talk to each other. That he doesn't know her at all. And she may know him, but just know him enough to manipulate him. It also comes out again that the family never wanted him to marry her. She was trash, a trash box, and he should have listened. Quana, talk to me about this, because it literally fell apart. It all fell apart, even that raggedy fish.
She's so used to those tears saving her, and she was so devastated that it wasn't working this time. Bless her heart. And it just reminded me of every clip you've ever seen when it happens in real time and they realize it's not going to work. And it's just like the shock, the awe, the devastation. It was just all there on her face. But I felt she caught herself because she really wanted to call him on. Like, if your pee wasn't bad, this wouldn't have happened. She wanted to drag that man, and she was trying to hold herself back and then give a little, then hold herself back. I was crying because it was so hilarious to me just how ridiculous this whole scene was. And she's still not telling the truth. Mm-mm. And I think she's not telling the truth to herself either. So I'm interested in when his dirt comes out, because it's a three-prong plan, right? So he's got to have some dirt. And I wonder, that money laundering that she mentioned in the voiceover, I wonder if she's going to be willing to threaten him with that, since obviously she knows the ins and the outs.
People, perfect patties, and people who want to keep this pristine image to the rest of the world, I think no boundaries. They will do anything to preserve this picture perfect image. I think she would use anything. I think she would use anything on anybody to maintain her reputation. Tyra, you're nodding in agreement. What did you think about this whole dinner? And
girl, when a white woman uses white tears on her white husband, she used white tears on her white. She weaponized white tears on her white husband. I thought that was for outsiders. I didn't know that was in-house. That's a special kind of woman. That is a special kind of woman. When she like fake repulsed herself by her, like, oh God, like you're repulsed by your own pictures, as if you weren't there, as if you didn't commit these acts. Oh God, I just didn't. Like, girl, that. This dog and pony show of hers, this is clearly something she's done. When she said, like, he was like, oh, so you're the victim. I am the victim. Where?
Girl.
Here. Well, if you would have blown my back out, I would have been here. That's what it was given. Like, if you would have hit it from the back more often, I would have, I wouldn't have to go across them forbidden streets, okay? So we're gonna make it his fault. Like, no, you did this. She didn't. This was the moment to purge and say everything. She was going to try to get control over this and bury it until, hopefully he's none the wiser. And we're just going to, forget about it and move on. She didn't plan for him to send those things to him. And it's no coming back from this. Like, as he said, like, that I was warned about you. When somebody says I was warned about you, that means her name was out here in the streets and it was mud. You're gonna marry her? You're in a relationship with her? Ew, like, who is she? Don't you know she, like, I heard this one time she was already known to not be like, you were lower class, lower standing. I should have listened to my family. That was already that. And then the fact that it's just like, we're not getting it in now. No matter, and all the 20 some odd years, every time I want to have sex, you have a headache. I know.
I know. All she could do is it. And the level of audacity and unmitigated gall it takes to bring somebody into the hotel room that you were sharing with your husband on
She
vacation
cared. She didn't
is
care.
wild work.
That's why it's like you didn't have a separate. Y'all didn't have a nanny. Where was your son? Where was your son? I made sure he didn't see. Okay, when you were being photographed in your red panties, where was your son? I feel like whatever incident that took place to where he, had a near-death experience and had to be saved, she wasn't present or she was wrapped up in that young man. Like, girl, trash. Absolutely trash. I needed him to back up. She thought that this was going to save her and she was going to cry her way back into his good graces or gaslight him. He was like, no, girl, get out my face. He took his PlayStation and he left. That's it. Right.
Baby. He grabbed that book and said, I need to finish
read
that
this book.
Kay.
I'm gonna
read every page.
Mm-hmm. Just like the song read every page.
Okay, talk to us about it all falling apart.
Her husband had like a whole flashback of when he wanted to propose to her and the family said no. Like everything came to him, like he blocked it out and it came like, oh yeah. They tried to tell me about, like, you know what, I heard about you. Oh, I remember your name.
They told me you was a hoe.
Like, you know what? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. You know what? That's my bad. Let me get out of here before I embarrass myself any further. Because she was looking at them pictures like they wasn't her. Like, I can't believe anybody would do this. Man, that young man probably didn't even tell you to pose. You probably made those poses up on your own because I'm sure that ain't the first time. And he probably ain't the only one that got pictures of you, okay? It's probably all types of pictures of you floating out here that you done did before and after the sun. So why she acting all shocked and appalled now? That man ain't dealing with her white. He said, I've been dealing with your white tears for decades now. They don't work on me no more. And he said, don't touch me. And he looked at her like a peasant that had been living under a bridge and was reaching out for $2.
He said, don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Unhand me, you woman of the night.
Repute.
Peasant.
Unhand me.
But because she Kate Blanchett, I wanted her to say, I looked good, didn't I? And throw a picture back down on the ground. I wanted her to hit her bad girl Riri ear and be like, I was looking good back then in the day.
Busy trying to gas, like, oh God, I didn't do.
She's
trying to keep up the lie. She's trying to keep the
lie. The way, though, that he held on to that for 20 plus years. I've never told you this, but my family's always hated you. They hated you deep down on the inside. And they told me you were a whore and I married you anyway.
Now him in this permanent position of his hair being blown back, he just looks insane.
Oh my goodness.
He put the brush to that hair or nothing. He's waking up on go.
Oh my goodness. Listen, we had to end with Steven grinning like this because he said, my job is done. My mission's complete for right now. Mission to ground control. The job is almost hit. The wheels are in motion. And he's got a 10-point plan after this three-prong assault, right? Going to be watching with a steadied eye to see what's next. He's literally going to take her down brick by brick. He's going to try to unravel her at the seams. I cannot wait. Kay, talk to me about your predictions for next episode.
Get this comment from TP real quick.
So stupid. He used to call you jawbone. TP, please.
I feel like that she now that she realized that the white tears and the damsel in distress is not working, she's going to have to come up with a new strategy and fight fire with fire. So we're gonna see the beast that she's been trying to keep under wraps all these years. You're not a damsel in distress. You really a monster out here, and I think she's gonna have to show her true colors. I think the son just gonna be sitting there bewildered, like he don't know what's going on at this point, and just wondering, is anybody gonna take him out to eat? Because ain't no stove in the place that he at, and he probably ain't got no fridge either.
Lord have mercy. Quana, any predictions?
Steven about to go on Piers Morgan and tell it all.
That would be epic. I'm here for it too.
I predict that she is going to give Robert the ultimatum that if he does not stand beside her, she is going to take him down with everything she knows. I think she is going to go after Stephen to keep him quiet so she can try to collect any information that can link her to this. And I think once Nicholas knows, I think so sorry for you, sweetheart. I think you're going down. I don't think he's gonna make it. I think we're gonna, poor Nicholas. Poor Nicholas. I think it's a wrap. But I think we're going to find out more about Jonathan's relationship, and maybe there are some skeletons. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like it's a tragedy. I feel like everybody's got to go down.
Oh Lord, it's gonna be tragedy on tragedy on tragedy. Tyra, any predictions?
I think he's underestimating her. He knows of her. He doesn't know her. He doesn't know her. He knows, maybe an inkling of what you maybe did to my son in the state he's in. He doesn't know her. I feel like she finna be laying it low. I feel like she's finna come at him with everything because she's worked to get to where she is. You see her walking through all savvy. Mm-hmm. She's revered. She's awarded. Like, you think I'm gonna let you tear this down with your little salacious book and your little pissy photos? She's gonna fight tooth and nail. And I don't think he's expecting that. He's just maybe expecting things to go accordingly and fall apart and tee. She's gonna come back, and I want to know. Is that going to make him push to go even harder? Is he going to break down? Are we going to see, some of his weaknesses or some of the things he's done in his past? I predict that baby's on them drugs. Nicholas is on the stuff. He's on the booger sugar. Something is wrong. And I hope somebody gets to him before it's too late, because he looks to be unraveling and lacking direction, but it doesn't look like anybody cares at this point, including their daddy. As far as her trying to come at, because it's like, what are you trying to go at this man for? You don't love this man. I think he, image-wise, looks good on her arm. Like, this is my man. He's, he comes from money. I don't want to be, up here. I'm not upstanding if I'm divorced or whatever. I don't know what she's trying to do, because their son don't look nothing upstanding. That looks like regret. But we'll see. She might try to, fight and hold on to that man with all she has. But I just feel like it's going to get real messy. And I want to know who's going to come out on top, because we're getting her, in third person. So that concerns me.
I'm interested too. We're going to see. But you guys, that's really that's what the first 2 episodes, at least what stood out to me that I wanted to talk about. We will be back weekly to talk about this. Again, this is a limited series with 7 episodes on Apple TV. If you haven't watched it, go check it out, because again, I do feel like it is a masterclass in storytelling. The portrayals, and we jest, but the portrayals, I think, of these characters, the depictions are spot on, right? You believe these people. You believe these people are who they are projected or purported to be. So I'm absolutely here for it, loving it. But before we get out of here, I want to give everybody just the opportunity to let you guys know what they have going on. And we are going to start with Quana. Quana, what's going on at her real review? Excuse me.
I just dropped a review of Mr. Crockett. So there's that. I will be reviewing Smile 2. So we're in spooky season, so I'm going all in. And grotesquerie, that. So just having fun with spooky season. Then I'll switch over to spooky November.
Don't follow through.
She said spooky on spooky on spooky. And you guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to follow everyone on the platform. Hit the notification bell, drop a comment, drop a like, a heart, all of those things. We appreciate you so much. Kay, what's going on over there at Slice of Horror?
This week, I plan to do a review for Alien Romulus. I've been saying that for the longest. My plan is to get that out this week. Reviews up for From Theories. Mr. Crockett video is up. Y'all know we have Grotesquerie, season finale of Reasonable Doubt. Tyra has her horror costume party coming up this week. That's going to be fun and interesting. So y'all stick around for that one. We'll have some fun. Have some fun with this one. Hit like, subscribe, join the membership this weekend for our blockbuster night. We'll be watching Hocus Pocus as picked by the sweet one.
Tyra, what's going over there at the struggle?
Girl, a lot. I just dropped my Strictly Business video and y'all been sleeping on it. Y'all just left it over there. Y'all waiting on the bus. Don't wait on the bus. Go watch it because I worked on it. You know how I feel when y'all be waiting on buses. don't do that. But tomorrow your girl will be hosting season 3, episode 4 of From. Make sure that you're there for that live. There have been some issues with YouTube with the whole. I am currently trying to upload my review for From, my solo review. So be on the lookout for that as well. That'll probably be dropping, the same time we do the freaking live. But what are we going to do? What's Wednesday, y'all? Wednesday's open. We are trying to find an area to close out the season for what's the show? Fight Night. I know a lot of you guys were interested in wanting to know our thoughts on that and for us to close it out. So we're looking for some place to put that. Gonna figure it out. Not gonna leave y'all hanging. I know some of y'all all of a sudden y'all want to check for, but y'all weren't showing up for the live. But and y'all know I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the people in the back. Thursday, Child Grotesserie. Grotesserie. I will be hosting Grotesserie as well. Please be on the lookout for that. Stick with us. We are just as unintrigued as you are, but we holding on. Okay, we're holding on, and we want to know, was it all for nothing? That's what's keeping me alive. Friday, Fridays are for Reasonable Doubt, and also that Friday night, I low-key forgot, your girl is hosting a whole horror situation. Show up for that. You guys know I low-key love me some horror, and I know that a lot of you aren't so much interested in that, but I would definitely be here for you guys showing up for that live after the Reasonable Doubt premiere and us talking about that. So yeah, the link is already up for that. So go and hit the notification bell on all of that, and then just support us in everything that we do, because we go hard with a capital H. That's it.
Absolutely. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, just make sure that you're subscribed to all of these wonderful ladies on the panel. Make sure you have that notification bell hit, and make sure you drop a comment, because that helps us so much. If y'all don't know already, I uploaded a million videos over the weekend. So please just go run it up. Go run something up. I dropped Sweet Pea today. I dropped Disclaimer today. We dropped From yesterday. Mr. Crockett, Teacup. There's a million videos up to watch. A lot of great shows. If you guys are sleeping on Teacup, don't do it. Watch it. Be there, be square. Be there tomorrow for From. We appreciate it so much. We love you real bad. Thank y'all for rocking with us every single night. Every night. We will see y'all in the next video.